It's Monday and it's another Take 5 with Nige. Welcome to the Room of Despair. Yeah, that time. It's Take 5 with Nige, an extended Take 5 with Nige. It's the Q&A. I've had about 20 something questions, so thanks to everyone who's put a question in there. There's no real easy way of doing this, so I'm just going to jump straight in. Unfortunately though, I have to use my glasses. So let's see what we've got. We'll start at the beginning, shall we? And the first one up for it is from Cycling Sean. What is your dream bike and dream route to ride it on? Well, that's a loaded question. My dream bike would have to be a Colnago. I don't know the models anymore, but a Colnago to me just epitomises quality, history, biking history, and they're just beautiful. So yeah, definitely a Colnago, I think. The routes, one of my places that I've always hankered to ride in is Belgium, and especially on the routes of the likes of the Paris-Roubaix and the Tour of Flanders and things like that. I would really love to explore that, those areas. Next one, can't read it. Andrew Lord, what annoys you? Well, how long have we got? I suppose I think the real thing from a cycling point of view that annoys me the most is the age-old argument that cyclists should pay tax. I mean, that just annoys the living crap out of me. So yeah, that is one of the things. I don't really get annoyed too much. I don't think, but that's one thing. Those old arguments always do my head in. And the helmet debate, that's another thing that annoys the heck out of me. But more of that in another vlog. What else have we got? From my dear daughter Bethany, how do you prepare for a ride? Yeah, how do I prepare for a ride? Well, first thing I think is I have all good intentions of going out for a ride, and when I decide that I am going out for a ride, I don't know, the day before I'll think, right, tomorrow I'm going for a ride, and I'll start off with all good intentions of wanting to get out as early as I possibly can, and get a ride in. It invariably does never work out that way, and I end up putting it off until it gets to the afternoon and after lunch and whatnot, and I end up going out then and giving myself not enough time really to get a decent ride in, if you know what I mean. So I mean, preparing, you know as well as I do that I am not a very well organised person, so I'll run around, I'll spend 2 hours faffing around getting stuff ready, and I'll spend more time getting stuff ready and faffing around than actually going out for the ride itself. So not a lot of preparation, unfortunately. Maybe I should become more organised. Right, what we got? Mike Trelaw. We've got several questions here. First one is, how are you liking the compact chainrings on your new bike? Right, for anyone that doesn't already know, my road bike, this one behind me, which is on a trainer, is a triple chainring setup. So the new one, the Trevan, is a twin compact, standard 53, 5034 chain set. And I thought it would be a hindrance. I thought it would really make a difference. But in hindsight, I'm getting on with it quite well. Better than I thought I would do. The advantage of the triple is not that much more advantageous in the long term, as I found out. The granny gear chainring on that is a 30. Well, we only run a 34 on the compact. So I tended to use, I didn't use the middle ring because it was like a 50, 39, 30, I think. The 39 is neither here nor there, so I tended to use the granny gear, so to speak, in conjunction with the ratios on the cassette at the back. So it hasn't made much difference going on to the twin, not at all really. So yeah, getting on quite well with the double. What else we got? Same again from Mike. We have, which cycling YouTubers do you follow? Oh blimey, Riley. Right. This is subject for another video. But mostly I follow our good old friend Mark Frost, like most of you already do. I like Doily Burger Grant. I follow him as well. And Duncan McNaught. Within our sort of gang of YouTubers, if you like, and there's Emma. I'm stuck. But YouTubers, for me, I like people who have a story to tell. One of my favourite YouTubers for the story is Katie Kookaburra. Following her story, and I followed her for quite some years, so I know the background of her story, and it just keeps getting better and better. And she so I like ones with a story to tell. I'm not the keen follower of the slow motion coffee stirring vlogs that don't really have any kind of substance to them. So yeah, Katie Kookaburra is one of the big ones that I follow regularly. Out of the cycling scene, one of my favourites is Philip DeFranco. Absolutely fantastic channel. He's been in it a long time. Who am I going to shout out for next? Cycling wise, there's not that many. My favourites, I like to see what Mark and Grant and Duncan and the likes are getting up to all the time. But the bigger ones, I've sort of gone off them. I don't need to name them, but to me they're just tending to be the same stuff, and it's not really appealing to my level, my cycling interest, if you like. So yeah, Mark, Grant, Emma, Duncan. There's Dave Harvey Cycling Channel, who started to come back with a few videos, which is great. I can't remember all of them, but yeah, we all have unique stories to tell, and that's what it's all about. It's all about being able to tell a story, and all about having a story to tell. And it's not necessarily about my favourite. I don't look to fancy camera work, or it's always about the equipment that I'm using or anything like that. I like to feel what the person's telling me, and feel the story that they're telling us. And we've all got our own unique way of doing that. So yeah, those are the people that I follow the most. yeah, I was a bit long-winded, sorry. Next one, what we got? From Mike again. Would you like to live on a narrowboat? Not so much a narrowboat. I'd like to live on a liveaboard on the Norfolk Broads, on a cruiser. Yeah, I'd do that tomorrow if I ever won the lottery. Narrowboat, I like the canals. I love the canals are fantastic, but now I've grown up with the Norfolk Broads, and my love for the Norfolk Broads just is, you know, that's it. As far as I'm concerned, if I won the lottery, then I'll be down there straight away, you know. So yeah, I'd love to live aboard a boat, but a cruiser on the Broads it would have to be. And finally, oh hang on, no. Another one from Mike's. Next cycling related purchase. Oh crikey. Next cycling related purchase. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. What am I hankering after at the moment? I don't think there's anything I really want. I mean, that's really strange coming from a cyclist. We always want something. But what would be my next one? I suppose. I know. I'm attempting to restore a bike, a very old bike actually, and I'm after some age-related components, namely sort of Shimano 600, is it? I think I'm looking for a front changer for that, so that could be another purchase. Don't like the look of the prices that I've been seeing, but yeah, cycling related purchase. It'll have to be towards the restoration, which I will be showing you that in a future vlog. So yeah, that'll be that one. But yeah, nothing at the moment. I don't feel anything at the moment. I've just got a new kit. I've just got a new FCC kit, ready for the summer and the warmer months. Bought a new helmet. I bought a load of stuff the other week for my 500 subscriber giveaway, which will be later, not on this one, but another vlog. But yeah, nothing in the pipeline other than the restoration. And who cuts your hair? Why? The problem. Me, if you haven't noticed. And that's not from cutting my hair. I don't know what that is. I think it's the mark of the chosen one. Right, another one. This is from Ewan. Ewan Ely, my daughter's wonderful boyfriend. This is another one. If you could ride anywhere in the world, where would it be, and who would you do it with? Oh, blimey. Right, well I think I've already answered it. I would love to ride in Belgium. I covered that in just a question earlier on. For some reason it's just the history. I'd love to ride it around the time that there's one of the big events, one of the classics is on, the Tour of Flanders, Paris-Roubaix or anything like that. I'd dearly love to ride ride those areas. Who would I ride with? And this is going to be strange because I don't have. It's easy for me to turn around and say, "Oh, I'd love to ride with my cycling heroes," and they are. I know that's not the question. That's not the question. But Sean Kelly, Stephen Roach, because that's when the enthusiasm for cycling was really at its height with me. When those guys were around, current. But no, it's not as far-reaching as that. I would love to ride with the likes of Katie Kookaburra. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that would be it. I think ride Belgium with Katie. And next, this is from Bosch X81. Hi Nige, love your videos, thank you very much. particularly the ending soundtrack. Cool. Love it. Question: what's your honest thoughts on your new Trabant? I've done my own review and the RC 500 and was wondering your thoughts. I'm not a fan of the wheels as strong as they are, and will be upgrading when finances allow, but do rate the bike. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to not say good things about anything that comes from Decathlon, because everyone knows on this channel, everyone who watches my videos will know of my love for the brand, if you like. There's the Trabant 500, the RC 500, I find is I find you know, it's a good bike. It's a nice bike, and I haven't had enough time on it. I haven't spent enough time out on it. To be honest with you, I've only done a matter of about half a dozen rides since I bought it, which is poor, I know. But yeah, I've heard that people are not happy with the wheels. They've presented no problems to me at the moment. Looking at something else to replace them with, I'd only just bought the Axiom rims for the Trabant behind me, literally a few months before I bought the Trabant, and then obviously realised that the Trabant's disc brake, so those I can't use those Axioms on there. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I will look for some rims, better rims that aren't as heavy. Apparently they're quite heavy, but the bike's heavy anyway. I find that's the heavy thing. The thing that I'm not, the thing that I have a bit of a query, or it's niggling at my mind at the moment, is the size that I've ended up with. I tried to base the size on what I was already riding, and the geometry's different. The geometry is more sit-up on the RC than it is on the old Trabant 500 behind me. And sometimes I feel a bit as though it's not playing to my advantage, if you like. I don't know, there's something niggling there that's not quite right. Whether I've got the saddle too high, whether the reach is too much. I know the stem on this, on the new one, is a whopping 820mm. Well, I dropped the stem on this one when I first bought it. This was 100mm, and I went to 90 on this one. So I think that the reach on the new one, it might be a bit too much, making it a bit more uncomfortable. So I'm not really sure. I haven't qualified to answer too many questions on the RC Trabant at the moment. Hopefully, that's why I've not done a review yet. I don't believe in just reviewing a bike willy-nilly. I'd rather, you know, spend some time with it before I do that. So yeah, I don't feel qualified enough to make judgments. I just feel that there's a niggling little bit in there that's not quite working for me. But I have switched to put pedals. The pedals I'm using on this. So there's all sorts of different things. I'm using the SPDs, the mountain bike SPD style pedals, so I can use the mountain bike shoes when I need to get off, and I still need to get off and push and. And I don't know whether that makes a difference. I'm not quite attached where I would be with road pedals. So yeah, I've got to try and answer those questions and find out what's going on. But basically, I've got to spend more time on the bike would be handy. So yeah, anyway, coffee. This is taking a long time. This is going to go on. I hope that I'm going to get away. I hope to get away doing this without so many jump cuts. So yeah, ums and ahs and all that business will all be included. I think, we'll see. But let's go on to the next question. So what we got? Got a Duncan McNutt. How you going, my friend? Right. I don't understand why YouTube won't let you live stream. Right, I'll tell you. This is a recent thing, Duncan. Apparently, it's a recent policy change. You got to have more than 500. Got to have 1,000 plus subscribers to live stream from a mobile device. I haven't got 1,000 subscribers. So if you're out there watching this and you haven't fallen asleep yet and you haven't subscribed, click the button. Next Q&A could be a live stream if I get 1,000 subscribers. So get on with it. So I hope that answers that one, Duncan. And I think it has something to do with, you know, the things that happened in New Zealand and whatnot, that you can't simply just take your mobile device and live stream an event without the subscription rate. So that's what my question. Oh, sorry, Duncan. Right, go on to the question. My question: you have previously talked about cycling you used to do when you were younger. Can you tell us a bit more? What sort of bike did you have back then? Right, okay. Right. Yes, when I was younger, I did cycle an awful lot. I think back then, when, you know, having a bike was a big thing. You don't see it so much nowadays, but it was a big thing back then. It was an extension. It was like your first bit of independence. You got a bike and you could bugger off from the house and away from mum and dad and everything else that went with it. And you, for a moment you were there, it's your first moment of independence. And you used to gather with your mates and go cycling off. And we did that an awful lot. But cycling didn't come the way it would normally do with me. It was not, I didn't get a bike from my parents or anything like that. I ended up buying my own bike for my first paper round money, I think it was, and it was a mail order catalogue special. I think it was a Universal or something like that. I think green thing it was. 5-speed, hey, 5-speed down tube shifter, awesome drop bars. Yeah, there was none of this mountain bike stuff. Yeah, and then I remember my mate got a 10-speed. God, he was like God on our street. 10-speed racer. It was absolutely fantastic. That was a rally record ace, a black and gold one. So yeah, I started with a thing I bought from the mail order catalogue, paid it weekly or whatever it was. And then I went on to Peugeot 10-speed. But we've got to remember back then also, and I think you'll back me up on this, maybe, there was none of this compact chain set stuff. We were brought up on proper things. We were brought up 52, 42 chain sets and things like that. That thing in the background here, that's 52, 32, 52, 42. Proper man's chain set. And that's what you got. That was the standard thing back then. And then you had a stupidly close ratio cassette on the back with naffle teeth for getting up the hills. So yeah, well, I had a Peugeot for a long time. But that's when I started. I started doing a few time trials. So the bicycling that I did, as far as there was no competition. I didn't race. I didn't road race or anything like that, or as anything as wonderful as that. I joined a couple of clubs around the Nottingham area and did a few Tuesday night 10s, quite a few of those, because it was literally, the course was only just down the road from where I lived. So I did a few Tuesday night 10s, loads of club runs. But that's it really. There was nothing more than that. But we went everywhere. There was a group of us. Yeah, so I used to live in a place called Loudon, which is the other side of Nottingham, and from Nottingham we'd ride to Skegness, which I think was about 70 odd miles, 75 miles to Skeggy. Yeah, we'd ride to Skeggy, a group of us, and we'd have chips on the beach, and then we'd ride back again. It was one of those sort of things. We used to ride everywhere. You know, it was a big thing. It was a big thing back then to have the bike and be able to go off and have all these adventures. I tell you what, no, the last bike I had was a Woodrup, and that was like a made in the UK. It's 531 tubing. I bought the frame and I bought all the parts, built it myself. And that chainset I just pointed out was for that bike, off that bike. The frame itself is still in the shed. It's hanging up in the shed. So one day that might actually get a a restoration. I don't know, but of course later on, sort of, I don't know, 20 years ago, took to mountain biking and did some trail quests and Polaris. I did one Polaris 2-day trail quest and did some local trail questing, which was fun. Trail questing, if no one knows what trail questing is basically orienteering on a mountain bike. You have to go to the control, find the controls, punch your ticket, and then find your route to the next one. Which was good, it was fun. But then that gave way to nothing at all, and I spent a long time with not riding anything, if you like. Anyway, that's that. So, long-winded answer to that. Sorry, Duncan, but there we go. I didn't do a fat lot while I was when I was younger. This one's from Jeff Turner. Jeff, how you going, mate? Thank you very much for the question. I really enjoy your videos, Nige. Cheers, that's what I like. I confess, I subscribe to many channels. I think sometimes don't get around to watching all. I knew you had a heart attack, and I looked back through the previous videos. I see it was just over 2 years ago. I guess my question would be, how has it affected your lifestyle? Have you had side effects from the medication? Thank you for sharing with us. I am sure many of us go through stuff that we don't share, which doesn't really help at all. Yeah, yes, it has affected my lifestyle completely. Yeah, the whole heart attack thing was because of my lifestyle, pretty much. Only a small part of it might have been genetic, because I come from a family that have history, but mostly lifestyle. I was grossly overweight when I went in. When I was like 19.5 stone, I think, when I arrived at hospital with the heart attack. And I just finished smoking for, since I left school, so I'd been smoking for 30 odd years ish. So the smoking, the overweight, my job means I'm sat down all day, all these sort of things. So yeah, it was lifestyle related, and yes, it has changed, obviously for the better. As I mentioned, I stopped smoking just shortly before the heart attack. And I've not smoked since. My eating habits have had to change, because of course I'm diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which is all relatable. That's the thing. These can all... I believe that I've been type 2 diabetic for a number of years, now that I've read through and understand all the side effects, or all the symptoms, if you like. So, and I'm a great believer that that's played its part in my heart attack. So, yeah, so now, everything's changed. And more keen to aim for a better quality of life. Of course I want to live longer, we all want to live longer, and I just think I was well chuffed or proud of the staff and what they did for me. And mine wasn't a massive heart attack, don't get me wrong. I wasn't. It was bad enough. I know mine wasn't a massive one, because they say it was a moderate or minor one. And if mine was a minor one, I don't want a massive one. Put it that way. It was bad enough. But they put you, they put you through this stuff. They do all these things to hopefully want to extend your life. They don't want you to have another one. So you have, you know, I've had the stent. Some people have more than one stent fitted, depending on the severity. So you have this time spent on you. Yes, we pay for it in around, obviously, you know, through all the national insurance and all that stuff, and it's what we deserve. But it just seems mad to go back to how it was. And I've known people that have you know, that have had heart attacks, and I've known people who have recently died because their lifestyle didn't change, and they didn't take time to change their lifestyle, and you know, had another one. And so yeah, I mean, I'm exceptionally grateful and thankful, and I think the best way for me to show that thankfulness is to do whatever I can to, you know, keep me out of there and live longer. So that's it. Medication, yeah, you asked about the side effects from the medication. Yeah, there is side effects. I'm on 6 different tablets. I'm on metformin for my diabetes. I'm on Bispro, beta blockers for the heart rate and whatnot. So generally speaking, side effects for me, and there would be several to back me up I think as well, are heart rate, especially from a cycling point of view, or any activity point of view. Getting your heart rate up to be of any use is very difficult. And I noticed the other day I was on Zwift and I was doing the my attempt at an FTP on Zwift, which is eye-opening. You know, it made me realise that when you do it structured like that, I saw that it took a long time for me to get the heart rate up, and the heart rate quickly plummeted once I rested. I mean plummeted, and then you just struggle to get the thing to come back up. And when you get to a point where it's, you know, your, I don't know, it's VO2 max or whatever they call it, I then felt as though I could hold it longer. But every time I ended up doing this interval thing where you made less effort, you rode at a less, you know, rode with less effort for so many minutes or whatever, it would plummet. I mean, the heart rate would plummet, and then getting it back up again. So that is a side effect from the beta blockers, and it affects the cycling. No two roads about it. Plus also you're working, you're getting a heart rate, you're getting a cardiovascular workout, and you're pushing it harder. So yeah, it's because you're pushing it harder, you tire a lot quicker. So you can't do as much, maybe. But the other things are, the other side effects are from the statins that I take. The muscle pains, the joint pains, they're all part and parcel of it, and it's like what they say, you either take them or don't. And you know, so I take them, they're there for a reason, I'm on them for a reason, so I have to suffer with it. And yeah, I do suffer with muscular pains and joint pains quite a lot, and yeah, but I'm better on the bike. I have less pain on the bike. So if I'm walking, I get a lot of backache, a lot of lower back pain very easily. We walk around the shops and I'm having to push on. I have to use a trolley. This is all down to the meds, I'm pretty certain of. You know, I get on the bike and I'm quite all right in that respect. But yeah, there's a lot of side effects. Well, there has been for me. Don't know if it's the same for everybody. But yeah, I do suffer with a few of them. Anyway, so let's move on. Good question anyway, thank you. Thanks for that. Oh, I've lost my questions. Oh God, they've gone off. There's more here than I thought. This might have to be a two-parter. Where did I get to? Yeah, this is going to be a jump cut here. Sorry about that, folks, but I've had to because I'm blubbering on. Right, this is from a good friend, our friend and fellow vlogger, Mark Frost. What a Frosty. Fantastic. My question to you, my good man, would be, how does cycling positively affect your life? Also, does the FCC kit fit okay? Because by the 15th, you should have it, as it's arriving with me. Right, okay. Here we go. I'm going to employ this hashtag as well. Hashtag good times with Nige. Yeah, too right. How does cycling positively affect your life? Well, basically covered in the previous question about I think it's affected me in two ways. Yeah, the heart attack, as I spoke about, it has positively affected how I deal with the aftermath of that. I don't know. There's a lot of positive to be taken away from the fact that you're doing something to get fit, to mentally charge yourself, to make yourself feel better. You get out into the countryside, you see something, you see wonderful views, you drink those wonderful views in. If it's lovely, fine weather, it just boosts every part of your body to the point where you're glad to be alive. Really, I feel charged afterwards. I feel doubly excited if I've been for a really good ride and I've actually managed to film some of it. I'm super excited about getting that edited into a vlog so I can share with everyone else. I've met loads of people through this channel and through associating with others like yourself, Mark, and I think there's a lot to be said about the cycling community, and it's good to be a part of. It's good to be a part of it. It's good to feel as a sense of belonging to that community. So right, I'll move on to another one. This is going to go on for a long time. So I keep losing the questions because I spend that long answering them. Right, Stephen Moore. Hi, Stephen. Yeah, I understand you cycled in the past. What type did you race? No, I didn't race. I did the odd time trial. It was road biking mostly. When I first started, there was nothing. There was no mountain biking. Cyclocross didn't appeal to me. I think back then it was pretty much unheard of, mostly. So yeah, it was just road biking. Road bikes was all you could get after your rally choppers that were around when I was a kid. So yeah, it was road cycling. Joined a couple of clubs like I mentioned in the previous question, and did some Tuesday night 10s, and that was about your lot. Unfortunately, nothing glamorous, nothing exciting than that. But thank you for the question. Next we have, where are we here? Wazza, how you going, mate? Nice to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's doing well. What we got? Your question is, what is your favourite item of clothing for cycling and why? I think at the moment it's that jacket there. That is the between, I think it's the 900 winter jacket. That is awesome. It is so windproof, it's showerproof, every blooming thing you think of. It's very obviously very reflective as well, but it's so warm and lovely. It's I love it. I love that. And next one, what we got? We've got Marvin McKenzie. Marvin, how you going, matey? Hope you're fine. Hope you're well. Yeah, YouTube won't let you live stream. No, it won't. Not on mobile device. Like I mentioned in Duncan's question was the same thing. Yeah, it's mobile device. 500 subscribers. I ain't got enough. So you can have 1,000 to live stream from a mobile. And I think it's because it's recent policy change. I think it's because of what went off not too long ago. Then we have Mike Costello. Good Mike. Mike, how are you? Hope you're well. What were we saying? I really enjoy your vlogs. Thank you. Oh, hang on a minute, we've got missed one. You seem more positive cyclist person this year. What has made you more upbeat in 2019? Thanks for noticing. I don't know really. I don't know, I thought at the end, I think I mentioned this in a vlog not too long ago, at the end of last year I started to feel as though it wasn't happening. I don't know, you go through the doldrums and the gloom and yeah, I felt pretty shy really. And when came around to this year, I started on the Zwift, and you'll know that. You'll know when I started. Follow me on there. I didn't think that I would do it. I thought to myself that if I'm going to do anything with my cycling of any note, if I'm going to make it meaningful to me, then I want to do enough of it, so I can look back and not necessarily be proud of be proud of what I've done over the year, but enjoy it more. And I knew that if I wanted to do something positive, I needed to do something straight away. So that set me off on the Zwift early on. So what's going off with this? It's all right. I think something was going off with the camera. So yeah, so I started off with the Zwift with the idea to get use out of my indoor trainer, which I'd bought 2 years ago, and it just sat in the corner of the room, and I just found it completely and utterly boring. And then had to go on the Zwift, as you know, and saw what I was managing to do, and and since all that time that I've spent on the evenings I've spent, I just kept feeling better and better the more I've done on it. I mean, ironically, this last week, I have not been on it at all. I've had a week off, but from January the 1st, like I've mentioned in other vlogs, it's been a constant thing, and I've seen things improve, and not necessarily outdoors yet, but I just kept feeling better and better and better the more time I did it. So yeah, I think that might have stirred some juices within my head or something and made me more upbeat. And I don't know, I think once you've got something started and you can keep it going, but yeah, so I think that's it. I think it was mostly down to the Zwift stuff, that feeling better and better the more I did, and hats off to Zwift for creating something that's that good. I think that's it. I think that's what's made me more upbeat. Zwift. Great question. Right, where are we now? I told you this was going to be like a live stream. They drag on for hours. Where are we? Chris Brown. Hi, Chris. Right. I really enjoy your vlogs. Thank you very much. After your heart attack, how soon did you get back on the bike? Also, do you monitor your heart rate while riding? Monitor the heart rate? Yes, I do. I've only done it, well, I would say fairly recently. Last year, I got the Lazine computer for my bike. And it came with all the heart rate monitor and everything. How long after the heart attack? I was back on the bike 4 weeks after. I was chomping at the bit, literally chomping at the bit to go back and go out on my bike. And everyone was getting on my case about, no, you don't want to do it yet, you want to take it easy and this, that. And I was trying to make everyone understand that they want you to exercise once you get over it, as long as it's not, silly. So I took my bike in the car. It was my mountain bike actually. I took my mountain bike in the car up to the local trail. I even drove to the top of the hills, so I didn't have to tackle the hills on the way out, and parked up in a car park that was already on the flat, and I rode my mountain bike for, I don't know, I can't remember how far it was. So it was about 4 weeks after I went for a gentle ride. But yeah, I was chomping at the bit because for some reason I got this desire that I wanted to do something. I needed to do something. I needed to get out and prove to myself that life needn't be over, type of thing. It was all mentally charged thing that had me raring to go, and I wanted to get out there and do things. And don't get me wrong, if I'd got off the chance, I'd have done a lot harder ride than I did. But I promised I didn't. I promised I wouldn't. But yeah, so 4 weeks, and it was just a short ride on flat rail trails that we have in abundance up here. So yeah, there we go. Thanks for the question. Where we got to? Are we nearly there yet? Oh, we got that many. I didn't think it would take this long to answer these questions. Well, a lot of people probably just reel off 2-word, 3-word, 4-word answers, but no. I wanted it to feel like it was a live stream, that it wasn't scripted or edited or whatever. So, where are we at now? Here we go. Trevor Adams. Hi Trevor, new subscriber to the channel. Thanks so much, matey. Right. How do you find type 2 diabetes affects your cycling? Do you normally eat low carb? What meds are you on? I am also type 2 diabetic. Nice. Yes. There's a gang of us. How does it affect my cycling? Now, you've got to be aware of it, haven't you? To start with, it was a pain in the ass. To start with, I would go out in the evenings, and I hadn't eaten since dinner, lunchtime, and I'd go out for an evening's ride of about an hour and a bit. And I'd get back from that ride and I would be on my knees, on my absolute knees, and to the point where the doctors were saying that you need to be bloody careful because you're getting to the point where you could collapse if you do this sort of thing. So yeah, to begin with, it was a nightmare, and it didn't just happen on rides as well. It happened while just going for a stroll. Me and my wife used to take little evening strolls, and I'd get back home and I'd be absolutely done for. But now I've brought it down, I've managed it quite well. I'm on metformin, 2 a day, and just keeping the diet sorted. Occasionally, and I don't know whether you'll back me up on this, but occasionally things let slip. The last blood test I had, I was on the cusp again, and they didn't like it. And like this week, been away for a couple of days and with my wife, enjoying some anniversary sort of late anniversary celebrations at the hotel, and I wanted to enjoy myself to the cost of feeling really poorly afterwards. So yeah, sometimes I let things slip, but no, I take things out with me. I make sure that I have everything with me that I need. I'll munch on an energy bar every 15-20 minutes of a ride, and keeping hydrated, which is obviously important anyway, but even more so from a diabetic point of view. But yeah, metformin I'm on for that. Yeah, how do you cope? I mean, I haven't got to the point where, oh no, there was one ride when I hadn't got anything with me. I'd gone out thinking I could go out for 3/4 of an hour, not bother with taking anything, and that was bad, because within sort of a mile from home I was done for. So yeah, you just have to think about it a bit harder and plan it a bit better. Anyway, I think the last question, I think we're on to the last question, and I think it's again from Trevor. What's your favourite Derbyshire route? Mine is Cromford, Vigelia, Longcliffe, Parwich, Hartington, Longner, Yorgrave, Winster, Cromford. Yeah, that way around as well. Yeah, not doing Cromford, Winster, Yorgrave, not on your Nelly. Anyway, I don't know, my favourite route. There's one at the back of us which takes me over to Carsington. From where I go, I can drop straight down out of town, and it heads up to a village called Kirkhighton, and then you can sweep across to Carsington Water, drop down below the dam at Carsington. You can even nip into Carsington for a bit of a cafe stop if you like. Then I'll go straight up to the main road, cross over to go toward Bradbourne. I'll do Bradbourne, then Brassington, and then come back down to Carsington, back into Wirksworth. That's a nice route, nice high level route. All the places you mentioned, basically, well, apart from Yorgrave and Winster and Cromford, Parwich, Hartington, Longcliffe, they're all on this FCC ride in May. Anyway, so yeah. Check out the FCC group on Strava if you haven't already. Yeah, so I think that's it. I think we've got to the end of it. I don't know how long this is going to end up being. I will chop it down. I will try and chop it down. I wasn't going to chop it down too much. I'll try not to chop it down too much. I wanted to keep the natural flow of things. I wanted to remain sort of live stream, sort of non-planned for answers. So a lot of them in are in. Sorry about that, but it was supposed to mimic a live Q&A. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's answered your questions. Thanks for everyone that did ask a question. I think I've answered them all. I think I went through them all. I apologise if I've missed any. I don't think I have. I wanted to answer them all anyway. But thanks once again for asking the questions. I hope you've really enjoyed it. I'm sorry it's wangled on and I have rabbited on so much, and everyone that's fell asleep at the back can now wake up. But I'm going to wish you all a wonderful week ahead. The weekend's not far away, really. Whatever you do, stay safe, enjoy your cycling, or whatever it is you get up to, and I'll see you in the next vlog.